You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If on the other hand you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Monday, 17th day of December 2018. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a chance to spend some quality time with the family. Saw you in church yesterday. Tipped my hat as I always do. And now here we are, Monday. We got Fed Day this week, Fed announcement, interest rate decision. Will he, won't he? He said he will, but most other folks seem to say he won't. Will he or won't he? We now live in a world where Obamacare is illegal. It's still in place, but I'm sure you've been following the news. Anyway, I'm just glad you're here today, right here, right now. Whoever you are, wherever you are, thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. If you have questions, please put them into the chat box. No one sees what you type except myself and Michael and Val and Bert, if he happens to be around. So feel free. If you got a question about anything we discussed during the broadcast, John is going to join us today, as far as I know. We had an action-packed show Friday. We had both Dr. Tom and Garrett at the same time, and it was good. So if you missed Friday's show, go to youtube.com/CFRN and you can watch it there. Now, if you want to watch the show live and you're away from the desktop, go to youtube.com/CFRN/live. During the live broadcast, if you go there, you can watch the broadcast live. If you're at your desktop, of course, and you can't see the chart I have up, do this. Go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. Within 30 seconds, you'll be registered through the end of the month. Not a long time, but it is through the end of the month. You only register once per month, but you need to register once per month. I think we're going to change that to 2 months or 3. Something's in the wind. We're going to make a change, and that'll be effective, I guess, January 1st. Of course, we won't be here on January 1st. We'll be back on the 2nd, which I do believe is a Wednesday. Now, next week, as soon as Michael comes on, we'll talk about what we're going to do next week, Christmas week. Okay. All right, I have a little bit of news for you. Then we'll talk about these futures over here. A new digital token project using symbols associated with the yellow vests. You heard of the yellow vest in France. Has been devised. The creators, I see your message there, Michael. That's awesome. Thank you very much. The creators of the Gilets Jaunes coin, GJCO, claim their main goal is to support what has become an international movement in the legitimate struggle of nations to self-determination and the reconquest of their economic, territorial, and monetary sovereignty. Wow. That wore me out just reading it. I can only imagine the guy that had to sit down and string together all of those very important words. The legitimate struggle of nations to self-determination and the reconquest of their economic, territorial, and monetary sovereignty. Wow. Now, the coin's website is littered with slogans such as "Get your freedom back," "Long live the Gilets Jaunes." The people will, it sounds like I can speak French. I can. The people will not be sacrificed on the altar of debt. It also abounds in promises and calls like, "We will be listed on exchanges soon." To stay united, you should mine on our own pool. And we invite you to buy a Gilets Jaunes coin wallet. The project's team claims the coin is inspired by Bitcoin and based on Ethereum. That pretty much covers an awful lot of coins out there. And insists GJCO is easy to use and perfect for transactions at ridiculously low cost. The developers of the new crypto further assure the public that the Gilets Jaunes coin is censorship-free, fraud-resistant, stating that its use is recommended during the fight against the banking oligarchy seeking to enslave us. Ow, that's a lot. It's unclear whether the digital coin is actually related to the Yellow Vest movement. The social media links on its website do not lead to real accounts, but Coin's Telegram channel, the Coin's Telegram channel now has over 90 members. The movement des Gilets Jaunes, and I'm not going to say that anymore, demonstrations, which started as a protest against increased fuel prices in France this past November, have spilled over to other EU countries, even Turkey and Iraq. Protesters have also raised a number of demands related to socioeconomic problems such as low incomes and government corruption. Say it ain't so. Open Finance Network, a security token trading platform regulated here in the U.S., announced it's transitioning from beta to full trading functionality. According to a blog post on Medium, if you don't read Medium, you should check it out. One of the security tokens available to trade at launch is Blockchain Capital, BCAP. Blockchain Capital is a tokenized venture capital fund focused on digital assets. OFN notes that this is a compliant security token offering. Okay, this is a regulated security token trading platform we're talking about. The platform is now available to both accredited and non-accredited investors in the United States and other markets. It implements a one-time verification procedure through an application called Investor Passport that a lot of folks starting to use the Passport name. I notice even Telegram has a Passport. And these two might be linked together. We'll find out. That allows users to invest based on their eligibility. Open Finance Network, OFN, has also developed its own security token standard called the Smart Securities Standard in order to be able to offer both token issuance and secondary market trading. South Korean internet giant Keiko Corp has invested in the Israeli crypto startup Orbs through its venture arm. Kakao Investment, according to Reuters, is South Korea's largest messaging app operator. It plans to establish a unit focused on blockchain technology. Orbs, which did not disclose the size of the investment, said the funds will help it grow and build on its existing partnership with the Keiko blockchain subsidiary, GroundX. The two companies are already working together to develop applications for crypto technology. And last but not least, digital asset exchange and crypto wallet provider Abra, as in Abraham, but just Abra, has decided to cheer up crypto enthusiasts during the bear market with a Christmas promotion. The platform is now giving away $25 of BTC to new investors for its ETF-style token called BIT10. To be eligible for the crypto cashback, however, users have to buy at least $1,000 worth of tokens before the end of this month. And there's another catch, according to the Next Web. BIT10 is a market tracking index token that can be purchased and sold only through the Abra app. The token tracks the top 10 cryptocurrencies each month, which means its value will only go up in a bull market, but may struggle in the current market. All right. Let's take a look at some numbers from around the world. Now, these are cash markets. We will go to the futures momentarily. I just want to refresh and make sure I've got the latest data. Hey, there's a good question. Will the government shut down? What do you think? President Trump seemed pretty well, I think he sounded like he had certainly made up his mind the other day in that infamous Oval Office interview. All right. Bond King Jeffrey Gundlach says the Fed should not raise interest rates this week. Right. I think most people think that, but the Fed said he was going to. So we'll see what happens. Is it going to change the world in which we live in? Briefly, yeah, whichever way it goes. And then we'll just go back to the new normal, whatever that is this week. All right, the Dow's currently down 66 points. The NASDAQ, again, these are cash markets. Dow down 66, NASDAQ positive less than a point. S&P 500 down 6.5 points. There's that 10-to-1 ratio, just kind of right on the money between the Dow and the S&P. The Russell 2000 is up by 5 points, and that's it. In the commodity basket today, crude oil is down 84 cents, trading 50.36 last. Gold is up $5.90, trading 1247.30 last. And in the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 132 points. Shanghai gained 4 points. The Hang Seng lost 6 points. Pretty quiet Asian trade. And in the European markets, the FTSE lost 71 points. It's a little over 1%. The DAX lost 93 points, almost 1%. And the CAC dropped 53 points. That's a little over 1%. So a mixed day in Asia, thanks to the Hang Seng being negative. A red day in Europe, thanks to everybody. And here in the US of A, currently, we're mixed. Russell barely positive, NASDAQ barely positive, Dow and the S&P both underwater. All right, that's it for now. I'll be right back. Michael will stir you up with a recap of what happened in the live training room today.
Yeah, stir you up.
Stir it up.
It's gonna be quiet.
Okie doke. Here you go.
Okay, here, I'll grab the charts. Grab the charts. I got them.
Got him.
Got them. Yeah, it was slow today. Slow. But we did get the goal for the day. And
Okay, I'll mute it till you're done.
okay. All right, Dwayne. All right, here we go. Now, I know this looks really nice, like it's a slow grind up. And it was a really slow grind up. But our part of this... Oh, wait. Before I get into this. Good afternoon. Today is Monday, the 17th day of December, 2018. Bring this up. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. Right over here on the right-hand column, it says apply.cfrn.net, 5-day free trial. Click on that, and you'll be brought to this page where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Click the submit button. Once you click that submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay? We don't know you took the trial until you click that link. Spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is the 17th day of December 2018. We lost 8 ticks on crude, and we made 16 ticks on the ES. That put us at plus 120 on the morning. Today, it took 73 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're plus 120. And we took a total of 2 trades. Slow day today. So on the month now, we're up $1,505. That's over 10 days, averaging $150 a day. On the year, we're now up $36,478. That's over 232 days, averaging $157 per day. And this would be the gross if you had 10 contracts. And did everything exactly the way that I did. $364,000. It can be done. All right, let's go to the charts. Now, gold. We didn't do anything with gold today. There were no trade setups on gold. You know, it was from right here where we started out all the way over to here at 11 o'clock. It was just chopped. There was nothing to be done on gold. And then it made a leg up, but it didn't give a trade setup. And then it pulled back, and then we're in a break. It didn't give a trade setup during that either. Okay, gold was just horrible today. This is the euro. Same thing. It just didn't give any trade setups. You know, today, you know, we don't normally get days like this where, you know, we're looking at 4 different markets and we don't get many trade setups, but the euro just didn't give anything up today. Okay, we weren't trending here. That's why I didn't take this bounce. If I did, it would have been a little bit of profit or maybe a break even. Switch directions. Slingshot's not set up for it. Switch directions again. Black step line crossed. Just nothing. There was nothing to be had. So, you know, oftentimes the best trade is no trade. We did miss some stuff here on crude, though. when crude oil started out on crude. We stopped out on this one right here. Okay. And then it ended up going down and doing what it should do. We didn't have any trade setups in there, but we got over to here, and there was a long right here, momentum long that would have been a break even. There was a short here that would have been profitable. Another short here, and I know some of the partners, a couple of the partners, one said they got 16 ticks, and one said they got 17 ticks on this leg down. I don't know what I was doing at that time, but I wasn't looking at crude, or I would have been in it. Then we get into the break over here. There was a long trade right there, another long trade right there, and it looks like a short right there. Okay, and that was crude. So crude did give up some opportunity today. We ended up -8 on it because we missed those good opportunities. But the ES, let's go back here. Now you see we have this weekly trading zone right here that's in play. Okay, it started out over here, and it looks like we missed a short right there. And then it got down into the zone, consolidated a little while, came out of the zone. The slingshot's not giving any long opportunities. Then finally over here, I think I said the cycle was going down too steep right there, and we skipped that one. Switch directions again. There was a short here, not a really strong trend, probably would have been a break even, but I missed it anyway. And then in here a short, in here a short, in here a short, and over here, this is where we picked up our 16 ticks. We got a long right here, and we grabbed 16 ticks off of that. There was another one right here that we missed that would have been a break even. And then we started getting toward the break. And the cycle's going down too steep, then nothing. Then we're in the break in here. Along there probably would have been a break even. And that was it. That was it. All right, that was our morning. We only had 2 trades this morning. Okay, it was a long morning with only having 2 trades. You know, I think it could be a little more active than that, but it is what it is. Okay, so today, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. The homepage at CFRN.net. And right over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial. Apply.cfrn.net. Click on that, and you'll be brought to this page, where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Click the submit button. Once you hit that submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know you took the trial. And down here in the spreadsheet, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 17th day of December. We lost 8 ticks in crude. We made 16 ticks in the ES. Put us at plus 120 on the morning. Took 73 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $120 a contract, and we took a total of 2 trades. Slow day for us this morning. And we're averaging 7.9 trades per day, and we had 2 today. On the month now, we're at 1,505. That's over 10 days, averaging $150 a day. And on the year, we're at 36,478. That's over 232 days, averaging 157 per day. Now, if you added 1 contract per month, if you started January of this year, and you added 1 contract per month and did exactly what I did, that's where you'd be. If you started with 10 contracts and did exactly what I did, that's where you'd be. Okay? And that, my friends, is the recap for today. So with that, I will pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park, where Dwayne is currently residing.
Currently, yes. Yes, I am. All right, there we go. The big screen.
There we go. Now,
John out there?
me. Not yet. Nope.
All right. Still me's coming. So
Okay.
we'll keep it low. Okay. Last night, I sent a little something Christmassy to all my social media friends, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, because maybe you're not one of my social media friends or our social media friends, and maybe you want to be. I mean, that's possible. It could be. Let's see. What do we got? Okay, a Christmas treat. See, it was supposed to be a Christmas tweet. T-W-E-A-T. Never, it got all messed up. To all my tweeter friends, Merry Christmas. Alert number 1111. Consider selling the ESH9 2606 to 04 to 02. And the swing low happened to be, as you can see, 2602. That's where it landed. Now on the Dow, it was 24,140 to 24,100. Now I shared equally with everybody. I think I put it on Facebook. Is this Facebook? It is. You know, I have issues with Facebook, but that's okay. You know, everybody loves it, and it has its place in society. So, where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. So you always got to click the see more. See more. And then, did we forget the Google Plus, folks? I don't think so. Where we go? Oh, there we are. To all my Twitter friends. Yep. Now, back to what happened. This is so unwieldy that I'll just park it over here. And I'll bring up the Telegram. That's a little easier to move around. Oh, and let me show you these. I posted some charts last night. Here we go. Okay. This one. The market gapped lower on the open. We suggested that the market might gap lower on the open. And it did. Just a little, very small gap. It closed very quickly. And then note the BBC on the 30 minutes just below the weekly trading zone. For the record, we won't fade the trade here. As long as we remain below the BBC, we will look for resistance to sell. And so we were just kind of in a holding pattern waiting. Also, this candle became the exit signal from Friday's last alert to sell 2616. Okay. And that candle eventually closed. Closing price of the exit signal 2605, 2609 on the ESH9. All charts been rolled to H. Yeah, make sure everything that you had on Z is rolled to H, and crude rolled today as well. Okay. Now here's another picture. Okay, as we're moving in on that weekly trading zone from last week and the BBC. I mean, you can see where we're headed, right? We started out like this, and then we moved into this, which ultimately became, I'll show you, this. So we were waiting last night. We got the, see, we closed Friday right here, 2,600 and a quarter. We opened last night at 25.95.50. So roughly a 5-point gap lower open, but it immediately covered, closed the gap, continued on up. And this is when I said we don't want to fade the trade. This is blue and climbing, yeah. And even this is blue and climbing. And you always hear me say, it's blue and climbing, you just want to get long. Well, yeah, but don't forget the part about where if we're under the BVC, we're not looking to buy anything. We're waiting for an opportunity to sell. And so the market got here to last week's weekly trading zone, 2612/13. Walked sideways for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, we'll call it. And then it made its first little dip, and it went right down to 2602. And 2602, that was the target. And it's a trail if possible. Yeah, well, it wasn't possible in the first move down. But as you know, important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So price pulls back to the BVC again and to that weekly trading zone. So we get a down move, we trigger 2606. This time we make it to 2602, and the trail is on. Okay, the exit signal printed right here. $25.94 and a quarter. $25.94 and a quarter. When the step line crosses the CFMA1, as it did, I better keep that over here. It crossed, it closed above, exit signal. Now, last night, if we come back here, see from Friday, the last alert on the ES was to consider selling 2616. Well, it made its first move down to 2609 and a half, got back above the trigger, and made its next move down. If you had held over the weekend, and that's not something that we recommend or even suggest, but if you did, your exit signal was right here at 2608 and a half. Does the exit signal get you out of the swing low? Nope, never will. So we had a trigger, back above the trigger, trigger again. But wait, there's more. Now, if I can get that to sit right on 2616. Almost. If I can't, I'll just show you. There, 2616. So last night, you know, after the exit signal prints, what does price do? It goes up and it gets above the trigger again. The swing high was 2616.75. The sideways walk, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg. Now, this morning, so that same thing played out across the ES, and it played out across the Dow. Last night on the Dow, the number we were looking for was 24,140, which I've already marked here, down to 24,100. 40-point move on the Dow, and the market went to 24,095. So in the ES, by some weird happenstance, it went right to the tick, and on the Dow, it overshot the target by 5 points, but then got back above the trigger, curled up against the BBC, and then made the big drop for, well, if we were over here at 24,140 to 23,840. 24,140 minus 23,840. I'm just rounding them. Guess better not round them. Let's see. 24140. That's what we're looking for. Let's get that out of there. Not straight. 24140. 24140. Now this exit signal printed 24001. Okay, that's pretty easy. That's 139 points at $5 per point. That's if you waited for the exit signal. Now, was there more available? Yeah, the market dropped all the way down to 23,980. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, between 24,140 and 23,802, like, could you get your goal for the day? Okay. So once this starts falling, there's no reason with price here on the left side of the CFMA1, there's no reason to get out of the trade. I mean, you can get out if you have profits, you want to take them, certainly you can do that. I mean, it's your trading business. So if we go back, let's see, to Friday, yeah, and here's the Globex Open last night on the Russell. And so on the Russell, what we were looking for was 1416 to 1414. Now you see this right here? 1414.20. So it missed it by 2 ticks, got back above the trigger, did it again, it got back above the trigger, and did it again. So 3 times off that one. Plus we put out another Russell this morning, I believe. We scroll down. Yeah, 1408 to 1406. And it looks like we just cruised through that because we got a swing low at 1404. On the NQ, last night's initial alert was 66.22 to 66.12. The swing low was exactly 66.12 on the Globex Open. Now, don't ask me to duplicate that. 2 of the indices, we hit the target to the tick on the head. Just ignore that part, all right? That's not typical. Sometimes it happens. Hey, it's just like sometimes you get stopped out to the tick, right? Exactly. A question. Any idea why the indices are crashing? We're in a bear market, pretty much. Oh, he was on the show Friday, Jonathan. I will get you his email address. Actually, I put it in the chat box on Friday. Did you grab that on Friday? Talk to Garrett and see what he can do. Okay. All right. Now, on the NQ, we got back above 66.22, and so the trail, if possible, came in here. Let me just, I'm gonna be forced to put a line. Michael, you see any signs of John out there?
Hang on a sec. Let me scroll up a little bit. Nope, still not there. Still not there.
Let me ring his chimes, because if he gets busy, I won't see him, and then I won't see him. What is this for? Oh, by the way, I got my iPhone working again, or my new one. It's not new.
Okay. So your old phone number works again?
Yep.
Okay. Good.
All right. I guess if he's gonna pop in, he'll pop in a minute because I just jingled his phone. So we'll see. Okay. So the NQ. All right. This number here is a rough simulation of 66.22. I'm tired of trying to draw that little line. All right, 66.22. Okay, so here we came down to 66.12, which was, again, as you can see, 66.12 and trail if possible. You know, has just dumb luck. All right, it happens sometimes for you, sometimes against you. I know it seems like it happens more against you, and who might argue, but that's the deal. So then we get back above the trigger, down we go again, and from 66.22 we go to 65.23. That's 100 NQ points at $20 a point. So that's $2,000 per contract available. That's what the market made available. It doesn't mean that's what you took out of the trade. If you were in this trade as it came down through 66.22 and you were trailing your stop, or however you do it, at some point, hopefully you were trailing a stop, price came back and took you out. If you managed to get out at 65.23, then I would love to know your secret sauce, because you got something I don't got. All right. Now back above the trigger again this morning. So we got 1, we got 2, here's number 3, and so far the swing low 65.75. But then we had another NQ this morning after the bounce, and what was that? 65.80 to 65.70, and that one made it to 65.75, and then it bounced, and that bounce probably was enough to take you out as a stop, I'm gonna guess. I'll have to go back and look at a smaller time frame to see. Depends upon how much you allotted it, or whether you were waiting for the second or third trigger. Sometimes the first trigger will kind of do exactly what this did and what this did, and even what this did. Okay, now crude. What did we do with crude last night? Let's see. Crude 51.30 to 51.20 to 51.10, and so December. Okay, there's the Globex open. I just lost it. Where is it? There it is. Right there. Yeah. Globex open. Okay. And so no. Occasionally Alexa thinks you're talking to her when you're not. Alexa, stop. Alexa, tell me a Shakespeare joke.
What does does Mark Antony say when he's thirsty? Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your beers.
Oh, that was bad. Thank you, Alexa.
Why did it say lend me your what?
Your
lend me your ears?
Your beers.
Your beers?
Okay. So again, those numbers were 5130, which is going to be right here. Oh. No, that's Friday. Last night. What time did that come out? That came out at 6:19 my time. So that would be 2000 hours. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So 2000 hours, 5130 to 5120 to 5110. And we made it down to 5114. Okay. So we didn't quite make it to the 5110. We missed that by 4 ticks. So did we go back above 5130 here? We did. We went back to 5140. This time, did we make it to 5110? We made it to 5108. And then we get back above the trigger, and down we come again through 5130 to 5120 to 5110, and we put in a swing low at 49.86. Okay, that right there is $1,000 per contract traded. Is there an exit signal yet? You tell me. Could the candle we're on right now be an exit signal? No. Could the next one? Yes. Let's see, the issue is the step line has not crossed over yet. Now, I also should mention that this is the old contract. Someone asked me last night in Telegram, should I roll crude? My answer was no, not yet. Lo and behold, it's time to roll the crude. Okay? Now, simple test to always know when to roll. Just look at volume. I'm on a 30-minute chart, and so there's been 2,300 contracts traded in the last 22 minutes. Now I'll go G, C, L, G, 9. Still no John?
Oops, yep, John popped in.
Okay, good.
Yep. Let me open his mic.
Now you see we got 9,954 contracts traded versus in the last 23 minutes. Hey John, welcome to the show.
I don't hear him yet.
Okay. All right. So 2,000 versus 10,000. So you can see that the volume in this contract has exceeded the old contract, which brings up a question on, I think the only other thing we had on F was soybeans. CSF9, got 1,000 traded. ZS H9, nope. ZS K9, really? Apparently it's not time to do anything with soybeans yet. Any idea when that day is, Michael?
Soybeans?
Hmm.
I do not know. I do not know when that day is. That would be a question for
Oh, I got the answer right here. Just gotta pull up the chart. You can always go to...
There's John.
Yeah, what a welcome. Hey, welcome to the show.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
Hey, just glad to have you with us.
Okay. That was quite an entrance.
Yeah, I've done it before too. I've actually fallen asleep in one of our meetings. I fell asleep and I was talking in my sleep. It was one of our partners' meetings.
Speaking of falling asleep, I saw a thing on Twitter. I think it was. There's somebody's invented a new hat for like truckers to wear that has some kind of sensors on it. So if they fall asleep, it sounds an alerts or slows a truck down or something. And there's some staggering statistic. About 250,000 Americans fall asleep every day driving. Can you imagine?
Really?
Yeah.
It was years ago. I don't know how many years ago, but I was still up in Massachusetts, and there was one time. I know Jada was. This was before there was me and Jada, and she was listening, and Dwayne ended up texting me, I think, to wake me up, and I was talking about my brother-in-law's boat, pulling my brother-in-law's boat up to the dock or something like that in my sleep. And sometimes the partners meetings back then, especially, they'd go to 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And 3 hours long. And but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're unfortunately looking down the barrel of another 87 scenario today.
It looks rough. It looks rough.
Yeah, and this one is the worst because having gone back to positive this morning, being unable to hold and now being down 270 points or so. It's a really bad development. This is very akin to 87, and one of the reasons it's happening is we've broken some major trend lines here in the last couple of days that are really causing, just panic, not quite panic selling yet, but just dumping. A lot of these funds are just saying, well, if this trend line's broken, I'm out. And so. There could be an acceleration to the downside this afternoon, possibly severe to the severe downside. So we have to be very careful. It might try and do a double bottom here, right with your weekly trend there possibly. But if that goes, then we're in all kinds of trouble and we're in a different ball game, because now we're in the 23s again on the Dow, the high 23,000s. We've broken down below 26 on the S&P, and our next target is 2450 and sort of 22,000, and they could be hit by tomorrow. In all honesty, this is the worst pre-Christmas week in living memory. I don't think we've ever had anything like this before, and it's just sort of compounding on itself. Now the Fed. If they raise rates, I think they need their heads examined. But as I think the lowest rate was a quarter, right? They got down to a quarter.
I think they got between a quarter and zero. I don't know how that happened.
A quarter and zero. Okay, well that's even worse. If you take the Fed funds rate is 2.25 right now, that's 900% increase. That's what's killing this market. Wow. Because the economy has been operating at the zero rates for so long that this is a real shock to the system, and these people of the Fed have got their heads in their sand, and they don't understand all of the things that kick into high gear when this happens, including derivatives that are potentially 2 quadrillion in derivatives, 30 times the world economy. They could bring the whole system down, and they better, they not only need to stop raising rates, they need to start lowering them right away, as soon as possible, maybe even in January. Now, the gold and silver are getting the memo today. It's funny, a friend of mine who's pretty astute, he said he thought the gold would pull back to 1238. Got to 1237 something and then turned right on a dime, and we're up $9 right now. The platinum also, after behaving very kind of negatively in spite of the last rally. We sold the last rally. We put a buy stop actually at 785 on Friday, which got triggered this morning, and we're at 797 right now. And I think the platinum lows are probably in here finally, and they've kind of made a long-term double bottom. Not even sure if they actually took out the last low, which is slightly more positive. Palladium is just a smidgen away from all-time highs, so that's a real positive. The silver is starting to turn back up. It really looks like the gold could possibly get to 1260 or 70 here in the next couple of days, and maybe the silver to get up over 15. I really believe if the gold gets up to these levels, we're going to see an acceleration to the upside. And the way this gold has gone up, it's really gone up in a very stealthy kind of way, and a way that just sort of kept on giving encouragements to the shorts. It's actually a series of 1-2s all the way off the bottom, and the reason why 1-2s are look, back in 1982 we started off with a whole bunch of 1-2s, and look where it got us. We had a 20-year bull market. So these 1-2s early on in the game, when you have an impulse wave followed by a pullback, impulse followed by pullback, impulse followed by pullback, but at the same time we're ratcheting higher. At some stage we're going to just explode into a third wave to the upside. And that's the power move that'll absolutely get the shorts panicking. And there's a record short position in the gold and silver right now that is actually I'm not sure if we can see this on the investing, but it's actually quite startling. Let me see. It's worth pulling up.
Which chart are you looking for?
The investing.com. From the gold things on Friday. The economic calendar.
Investing.com. And can I get to last week's calendar?
Yeah, just it should. If you go to yesterday, it should show Friday. No, that's Sunday. No, you can't get to it. Let's try it this week. It might show it for Friday. Let's have a quick look. Yeah. If we go to speculative net positions for
on Friday.
Yeah, the Friday I had the Friday to come.
I'm looking for it.
Here we have gold speculative net.
What time do you show that?
Let me just see where you're at here on your chart. I just found it. Hang on a second. Okay. Are you on Friday now?
I am.
Okay, go down to 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay, see this? Okay.
Got it. Is that what you want to see?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
I'll be back in a minute. Okay, is the chart there? Can you, just go down a bit.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, do you see how the chart's breaking up? See that?
Here?
Yeah. This is very powerful. Actually, if you go to the max.
Okay.
You see, actually, go back to the 5 from. Now, when we see the 15-16 bottom, that bottom produced the biggest move up in 30 years in gold stocks. And look at where we are today. We're already lifting off. And what this tells you is, the maximum short position was where we were at -40. See that? Down here? Yeah, right there. Now we're going back into the plus. So the shorts are covering already. And if you go to max, if you max that out, you get a bigger picture of where we are. This is the all-time record short position. Well, look at each time this has ever happened before. I mean, look at the 2000s, and look at where we are today. So, you know, I mean, look, when you get zero or minus negative short, it just doesn't get any worse sentiment-wise. You know, the next move is usually going to be just monumental, and look what happened back in 2016. So if you could go to the silver and see what that looks like. And you know, look, when we first bought this up, it's tough to buy that thing when you're down minus 38 because it looks like the end of the world, you know.
Here's silver.
Same thing. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So have a look at the full max. I mean, this is the worst it's ever been for silver. It's crazy.
And do you think that portends a bigger move up?
I absolutely do. Yeah. You know, I might caveat that with we've got to get. You know, I think if we get past 1275, 1280, I think you can take it. You know, you can start betting the bank on it. But until then, we've got to be a little bit cautious because it could still chop around here a bit. But it's encouraging what's happening, and the gold stocks are actually acting really well here. And the dollar is finally tanking today.
Well, it should let a little pressure off. You know, if the Fed doesn't raise rates Wednesday after saying he will raise rates, and that's going to create anxiety in and of itself because everyone's going to go, what does he know that we don't know?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's why this could be a really tough week. And, you know, the bottom may not be on Tuesday. It's hard to say. You know, something might get leaked or something, but, you know, we should be, you know, based on, well, we should be either looking for a bottom right now or failing this, then you know, something worse tomorrow. So
all right, this little area right here, it's 1252 on gold. We thought that might present some resistance. That doesn't mean the market can't get through it. I mean, look at the strong move to get up here. These are just 30-minute candles. So we've hit that area of resistance, and so what happens now will be important is, can we get above it, hold it on a pullback, and if so, then that takes us up to the next important level, which is not that much higher. I mean, this thing, we could chop around between 1252 and 1255 until that Fed meeting. That's possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the oil back down. I see you had it up there a short while ago. Actually, the natural gas has really tanked. Wow. That's
QNG. Here's natural gas. Oh, that's daily. So the gap lower last night, the gap lower open, did not close. It didn't even make it made an attempt at closing. It's not closed yet. I see this more with natural gas, I think, than probably any other futures market where there'll be a gap and then no close. Or certainly not a close right away. Eventually, they seem to close. But this is not as quick to close as the indices is.
Yeah. By the way, take a look at Tilray, TLRY.
TLRY. Okay.
Our prediction is finally coming true. It's another Bitcoin.
Tilray. No, this is a pot stock, Tilray.
Yeah, that's the one. Remember we called it to go to 300 right on this show. Twice with and
I remember everyone else in the cannabis industry getting upset because they said Tilray was an anomaly and it did not fairly represent what was going on in the industry, and it was going to make everybody look bad. So Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I do know that yeah, we went from $100 to 300, back to 100 in what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Boy, that was a fast pop.
Sure was.
All right. Well, John, I know you got a lot going on. Anything else you want to cover?
No, listen, thanks very much for the invite, and good luck for the rest of the day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
We'll talk to you soon. Okay, so natural gas. So we've been through the S&P. Now, the S&P, we went from last week's weekly trading zone down to the zone below it, 75, 76, bounced. Did not make it back up to 12, 13. Rolled over just shy of this 26. What was the swing high here? 26.0550. So we came within 3 ticks of getting back above this trigger once, twice, for the 3rd time. And we seem to be finding support here, at least for the moment, at the 2575/2576 weekly trading zone. Now if we put the indicators back on, so what we waited for last night, it was, the market did a beautiful job of delivering. Okay, now right here, when this happens, don't let that tempt you, okay? Because what is there? There's no pull away, right? That's a head fake. If I'm not mistaken, the last 3 Sunday night Globex opens in a row have given us a head fake. I commented on it the 2 previous weeks. I didn't comment on it last night, but there it is. And then we get a leg and we get a retracement right back into the BBC, and then a leg down to the weekly trading zone, and a retracement, and a leg. So will we get another leg into the BBC and then a leg down? We'll wait and see. What we won't do, doesn't mean you can't, we won't fade the trade. I won't, although it does look like, you know, easy pickings, right? But there's one problem. There's no easy in trading. Here, let me buy 25.82 up to 25.87. That's a 5-point move. And were it not for the guidelines we set forth in the Logic 247, if it were just an ordinary any kind of day, I would do that. But because I'm trying to instill in everyone just this basic understanding, if you're below, if you wait for the short, you got the wind at your back. Doesn't mean there won't be moves up, because price has to revert to the mean, and the mean is always the BBC when we're dealing with our indicators. Okay? All right. Moving right along. Or not. If I can find my, there it is. Last week we talked about staying focused on what's important. We talked about that Wisconsin town and the little boy with the dog, right? Today, talk about using what God's given you. You know, we always want something else. We want what he's got, or what she's got, or we want somebody until we have them, and then all of a sudden, oh well, gee, if they actually like me, then they must not be all that swell after all. Who was it that said I would never be a member of a club that would have me as a member? Right. Now, this is from the Amplified, Romans 12:6. Yes, thank you, Gary, Groucho Marx. Gary, resident historian. Good job. I forget who I was going to credit that to, but it wasn't Groucho. But you're right. Romans 12:6 from the Amplified Version. Having gifts, which are faculties, talents, qualities, that differ according to the grace given us, let us use them. So it's an exhortation to use the gift God has given you, whatever it is. Some people can sing, some people can dance, some people can do mathematical feats of wonder, some people can run long distances, some people can run large companies, some people can show up for work. Whatever God's given you, it's for a reason and for a purpose. Use it. God has given each of us certain relationships, skills, experiences, and attributes that He wants us to use to fulfill His purposes. He used a beauty pageant to position Esther as Queen of Persia so that she could stop the genocide of the Jews. He used Nehemiah's diligence as the king's cupbearer to position him for royal favor that would parlay into rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem. He used David's musical ability to give him access to the king of Israel. He used Joseph's imprisonment and his ability to interpret dreams to save 2 nations from famine. He used the zeal of a mass murderer named Saul of Tarsus to spread the gospel via 3 missionary journeys while writing half the New Testament. And if God used them, He will use you too, and He wants to. The only thing standing in the way of God using us for His purpose is, you guessed it, us. In fact, God is cultivating talents within you, within myself, within all of us that will serve His kingdom purposes in ways that we are quite possibly unaware of right now. Oh God, I don't understand why you're having me do it like this, or why you're having me do this. But since it's you, I'm just going to do it. Because you're God and I'm not. It may be your God-given athletic abilities or your musical proclivity that God uses to give you a platform to give Him praise. It might be your creative genius. It could just be your good old-fashioned work ethic. Some of us get ahead by just working harder than the next guy. We find we don't have any particular special talent that we can nail down, so we just have to work harder to stay ahead. And then we realize that, oh wait, that is my talent. I can work harder and longer than most. Maybe stamina. Maybe that's my gift. Whatever it is, seek it out, find it, use it. It's God-given. No matter what it is, it's a gift from God that is to be used for God. Success is doing the best you can with what you have, where you are. It's not based on circumstances, wealth, power, or platform. It's not based on past experience or future potential. It's stewarding every opportunity in every way, every day. So today, and just take it one day at a time. Just for today, use what God has given you. That's our good word for the day. And that's going to wrap it for this Monday, 17th day of December, 2018. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with the licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.